So, how did I get into the solar business? Well, I got into the solar industry about 2.5, 3 years ago. I spent about 20 years as a mortgage broker working in the real estate world. I owned my own company for a while. And it all basically started when I began to search and look into getting solar panels added to my own home. And what I found was kind of eye opening. I fell in love with the technology because the technology is amazing. It's absolutely just ground shattering and groundbreaking. It's something that still I'm awestruck by it every single day. The innovations and just the whole capacity for energy independence and creating and storing your own electricity. To me, it's like mind blowing. But I got into the industry when I started to look into getting solar added to my own home, and I realized, man, the sales process itself and just the way you go about, tapping into and getting access to this awesome technology is, it's kind of bad. It leaves a lot to be desired. First of all, the way it's sold generally, the solar bros. So usually some kid, nice looking guy with a hat on and a badge, and he's maybe on a little scooter, and he comes up and he rings your doorbell, and he wants to sell you every single aspect of solar right there at your front door. And for me, man, that's the first step to just not starting out on the right foot at all. I'm an old school guy. I'm Gen X. I don't like people coming to my door because, for one, I've got 3 big Labradors. They bark, they go insane when anybody rings the doorbell. And I'm already on my guard and I'm suspicious, and I don't really want to hear what you have to say at that point. So it took a while for me to even get the access to the information that I was interested in and trying to find, simply because the sales process itself put me off. And don't get me wrong, I'm not speaking ill about the hardworking people out there in the solar industry that are selling door to door. Those guys are warriors. Most of them are super honest and helpful and just good people. But for me, it's the process itself of coming into my personal space that I just never could find appealing. So the first thing I decided when I got into the solar business was I wanted to set up a platform where I could sell 100% remotely using access to technology like Zoom and Google Meetup and Google Maps, and just a good old fashioned telephone call to do an exploratory setup where I can really have a conversation and a one-on-one with a potential client without it being invasive, without them going on guard like I did, because I know a lot of people feel the same way. You probably think solar is cool, you think it's a good idea, but man, you don't want to deal with the door knockers, and I get it, 1,000,000%. So I sell in 25 states. Thankfully, I'm positioned and I'm partnered with a couple of the best and biggest EPCs, which are basically just solar carriers and providers in the whole country. And again, it's all done virtually by appointment and by referral. So, I try to do things a little bit differently. The second reason it brought me into this industry, and one of the main reasons why I'm starting a channel about solar with the Solar Rundown, is essentially, it's hard to find really good, credible information out there. You go on the internet and, it seems like everybody's got an angle. They're all trying to sell you something. It's hard to get a straight answer on anything. And I wanted to provide just a simple and honest resource for people who, might not know even the basics, or are looking to get information and want credible info, but don't know where to find it. I want to be a resource for that. I try to bring integrity first and foremost into anything I do, honesty. I always try to do right by my clients, and that made me really successful for 20 years in the mortgage industry. And, I love the industry. I love the technology. It's absolutely the wave of the future. It's coming whether you want it to or not. You got one household going solar every 20 seconds in this country right now, and we're not even at 5% of the capacity for eligible households that would benefit from it. So it's a fantastic technology. It's a way to save yourself a lot of money. Energy independence, you can make sure you never are susceptible or a victim of blackouts, rolling blackouts. You can create and store your own electricity. Essentially, you control the show. So energy independence is my thing. I hate the utilities, the power companies. They're monopolies. They overcharge whenever they feel like it. Your bill's constantly going up. they don't really provide anything above and beyond. And at the same time, they're also polluting our rivers and streams and, our air and basically where we have to live. And they're making a huge profit from it. So any money I can take out of their profit and out of their pocket and give it back to you, I think it's an absolute win-win. So again, my name is John. This is going to be one of the first in a series of videos, and hopefully just educational and helpful. I'm the owner of a company called Anthem Clean Energy in Charlotte, North Carolina. And again, I do business in 25 different states, almost all of the East Coast, the Southeast, the West Coast, and big parts of the Midwest as well. And some of the fastest growing, most adoptable areas in the whole country are the Northeast and the upper Midwest, where it's cold, where, a lot of folks would think, well, solar wouldn't work that well up here and so on. Those are the people who are just being gouged by these electric companies because your electricity rates are so much higher than everyone else's. California, Illinois, New Jersey, Massachusetts, I don't know how you guys even stand it. So if you're in any of those areas, man, reach out to me and hit me up. I am, again, going to leave my information in the comments, my website, a link to my calendar. You can reach out to me directly. You can schedule a time directly on that calendar, and we'll have just a simple, friendly conversation and just see where you are in the process and see if it even makes sense for you to look into. But thanks for viewing, and like and subscribe and share if you feel like it. And again, thank you so much for viewing.